This is episode 3 of trying to turn a piece of paper into $10,000. A bit of recap. We started with a piece of paper, then traded for an anklet, then a $20 bill, then a vintage bike, and then we finally traded the bike for a pair of Jordans with an estimated trade value of around $300. The next step now is to get rid of the shoes. So I went to Facebook Marketplace and put up an ad asking people to give me an offer. And I also wasted like 3 days messaging people to see if they wanted to trade for my shoes, but no one really wanted to trade anything for my shoes, which is completely fine because people are super kind on Facebook Marketplace. Anyways, I realized that the internet route wasn't going to be the most efficient. So I decided to go to a pawn shop or a shoe store to see if anyone wanted to buy the shoes. So I called a few places in my area to see who actually accepted shoes. There were only 2 stores that would accept shoes, so we drove over to see what they had to offer. The first place was a bit sketchy, and they essentially said that they needed a receipt to take the shoes. I didn't really have that because we traded for them, so we decided to go to the next place. The next place looked a bit more promising, so I asked them what they would take the shoes for. And they said that they would buy them for $30. That is definitely not what I wanted to hear, because I was under the impression that the shoes were worth around $300. Anyways, he told me about some flaws in the shoes that would make the price drop that low. I didn't want to take the trade anyway, so I just left in pity. I wasn't as far along in this challenge that I previously had thought, but I recalled back to a quote that Albert Einstein once said. Life is like a bicycle. To keep balance, you must keep moving. So my dad bought the shoes for me for $50 because they fit him, and I tried to find the next trade as soon as possible. I had an advantage because it was money that I was trading, so I needed to make the best of it. So I started lowballing people on Facebook Marketplace, trying to get the best trade that I could. It was really hard to find a good trade because when someone accepted my offer, they either lived 200 miles away or the item that they were willing to trade for me was not a very good item. I literally messaged people for like 5 days straight before I finally got a trade that was actually worthwhile. He lived about 15 minutes away, and he was willing to trade me a brand new iPad for about $50. And yes, I thought it was sketchy too, because that model of iPad went for around $500 brand new. But surprisingly enough, this trade was actually 100% legit. And the reason was because this person was an iPad reseller, which essentially means that they get really good deals from Apple because they buy their products in bulk, with the intent to sell. So these people are probably able to get iPads for around $25 a pop. And that explains why I was able to get this kind of deal. I did a little more digging just to make sure I wasn't getting scammed. And I came to find out that he actually didn't live 15 minutes away. He lived 180 miles away. And the reason that he said he lived 15 minutes away is because he wanted to advertise to people in our area. So essentially this just means that the trade is off. I didn't really want to message any more people because it felt like it was a waste of time. So I started messaging people that I knew to see if they had any good trades for $50. My brother got back to me and he said that he had a few textbooks that he never got around to sell. So he sent me some pictures and I looked them up and they were actually looking pretty promising. I still felt like I could do better, so I was going to pull an all-nighter messaging people on Facebook Marketplace, and if I didn't get a good trade, I was going to take the textbooks. So I began to message literally as many people as I could. Then I tried to find some resellers on Facebook Marketplace because I almost had success with one earlier. I didn't know specifically how to find them, so I just looked up brand new Apple products. Then I found someone that was selling brand new AirPods and I offered them $50. And they accepted, and they actually lived 30 minutes away. So we drove over and I made the transaction. This strategy, trading things with resellers, is actually overpowered. I was literally able to get a $120 pair of AirPods for $50, and I only had to message a few people. We didn't make an extreme amount of progress this episode, but I already put the AirPods up on Facebook Marketplace, and I have a feeling that we're gonna make a ton of progress this next episode with this crazy new strategy that we just discovered.